preview. You're listening to The Sizzle on Iron Skillet Radio and Iron Skillet Television.
You know who it is. You know what it is. It's The Sizzle here in the building, baby. You know what we do. We come to bring you the hot fire, hotter than ever. We're hot like lava. We just rain down on you and give you hot nuggets of morsels and just boom, just all over you. Oh, we're going to give you some boom in a minute. But you know I got to tell you who's in the building. You see him, the man, Jay Sizzle's over there.
Yes, sir.
I'm your host, G Sizzle. And listen, man, we got to talk about the talk. But before we get to the NBA, before we get to some stuff that's going on, listen, we have to remind you, if you have not subscribed, liked, and shared, please feel free to do so. Remember, hit the button, hit the like button, the thumbs up, and that way you get all of this pure content. That means you get all the updated information. And remember that you can always find us on Iron Skillet Radio, which is in any place that you find your podcast. We're there. And you find us directly here and exclusively here on Iron Skillet Television, right here on YouTube. Well, listen, man, all you got to do is find us by using hashtag Iron Skillet Sports. You'll find us. We're there. We're here for you. So let's get the show started. Jay, you ready?
All right, let's go get it, boy.
All right, let's get it. All right, the hot 5 and 5. Man, we got a lot to talk about. It's NBA season. It is hotter than ever. So listen, man, number one on the hot 5 and 5, Don Nelson's exit from the Mavericks is not mutual. It's not something that both parties really wanted, and it might have some play into the future with Luka doing a long-term deal. Right on that note, then you've got Zion Williams. Is he really leaving the Pels? Well, sources say one person in his family, one very loud source in his family, is not happy with anything that's going on right now in New Orleans. Even though he has a 3-year deal still on the table, they want him out of New Orleans.
They don't like crawfish.
Yeah, that could always be the problem. Yeah. Hey, man, and you know, PG was there to save the day. Paul George saves the day for the LA Clippers, who were looking at almost automatic. It was going to be a bye-bye. They were going to go on the Clipper boat. They were going to go fishing. But PG stepped up and he saved them from instant elimination. Yo, the Madden cover leaked. The two GOATs, Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady. It's real. I think we need to really start talking about this.
They're both on?
Yeah, we need to start talking about the Madden curse again. Because if you look back at Patrick Mahomes' season last year, wasn't that great, and he was just a cover guy just 2 seasons ago.
Tom Brady's greater than the curse.
Listen, man, the White Sox have the best record right now in baseball after they knocked around the Devil Rays, who came in with a better record. The White Sox are doing their thing, but guess what? They don't care. They said it's just the middle of the season, and it matters nothing. Until we get the best record at the end of the season, we don't care. So the White Sox are your leaders right now in MLB, and that is the hot 5. Here in the 5. All right, Jay. All right. We got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about it. That's what happened to half the NBA. Half of the NBA has been shot, smacked around, knocked upside down. It has been
brutal.
Bad. Ooh,
been brutal.
Bad, man, daddy. It's been bad. So, Jay, what do you want to start? Because, I mean, it's a lot to talk about, man. A lot of people were fired. A lot of people hurt. Chris Paul got the COVID again. He's been out there on the COVID banana boat. I don't know what's going on. PG at least is doing his thing because Kawhi ain't doing his thing. I don't know why. Ask why. Same leg, same injury, seeming like, and if he's torn his knee up, ooh, buddy.
Well, you know, the thing that's weird about that Kawhi Leonard situation, that he actually made the trip out to go play. And while he was there, the team reevaluated his knee and they sent him back on a private jet to get his knee reevaluated by a specialist. So that tells me what they thought it was is not what it is. And we know that was a non-contact foul. Just seems to me, I'm a guy who's talking who has had 11 knee operations, and that sounds like an MCL tear. That's what that sounds like. When you do that, it takes a little while. Now it's starting to swell up, and now you start to see more and more symptoms because the MCL tears can hide for a while. Kawhi could probably be done for the rest of the season.
All right, so let's look at it from this point. If Kawhi is done for the rest of the season, Jay, let's just take the timetable. Best case scenario, it's 12 months for him. So 12 months from this point going forward means you won't see Kawhi any of next season, and the best you can hope for is the second round of the playoffs.
Well, and then you got to figure out too. Well, you don't know how long it'll take to return. I'm speculating there. Mm-hmm. But the other side of it is, how long can they keep this Paul George-led Clippers train on the tracks? Mm-hmm. Because now you don't have Kawhi Leonard. Are we saying now that Paul George can lead this team by himself? We saw some spectacular play from his cohorts, people who aren't really household names, but can they keep delivering like that? Mr. Jackson, man, was balling out of his mind yesterday, just hitting wide open threes when they needed them. So the question is now, can these same guys lift their level up to Kawhi-esque output? Not saying his play, not saying his impact on the game, but a scoring output. Somebody has to pick up the 25 points a game right now. Mm-hmm. And so we got to figure out who can do that, and can they do it on a regular basis? And is Paul George that guy that we saw who can take over a game? Because that was the Paul George everybody's been waiting on, is the one we saw the other night. I don't know if we're going to get him again, or we're going to get 7 points a game, Paul George.
You know, it's funny. It's one of those situations where you think maybe Utah just fell asleep at the wheel and didn't realize that Paul George was still Paul George. Maybe they thought it was his cousin, Paul Georges. They didn't know who he was. They didn't know. I mean, it's possible that it was just that one victory game, because Utah should have gone for the jugular. You would have thought with no Kawhi, they would have been able to just close this out and keep it moving. But, you know, kudos to – and it's funny, I just had the conversation. We talked about Paul George, and I was saying, look, man, if you're going to still get this Paul George that's been at the Clippers, they're not doing much. You need that Indiana Paul George. You need the Paul George who put in the work. So kudos to Paul George, and big shout out to him. I'm not going to ask, is this that Utah gave the game away, or did the Clippers steal it? The one thing we will say is this, is that without Kawhi, I don't know if you get to this point again next season.
Well, the issue is now you had a Reggie Jackson who threw in 22 points for you. You had Marcus Morris with another 25. And the young fella, Mr. Nunn, went and took Rudy Gobert on at the rim and posterized him. It's that type of effort that we saw from the Clippers that staved off that fierce Utah Jazz comeback. And we also saw the Utah Jazz, like you said, didn't look like they were super interested right there. I think the loss of Kawhi Leonard for them was also a letdown. And I think they thought maybe they were just going to walk through the Clippers. And when they found themselves down, they were like, oh, well, you know, somebody's going to lead us. They can't continue to do this. So here's the issue, though. Here's the big main issue. Can these young role players continue to play at this high level? They're going to have to for the Clippers to be relevant, because they sold all their capital away to get Kawhi Leonard in there, to get George in there. And if all of a sudden we see a Kawhi Leonard's no spring chicken anymore either. Now, we talk about all the time that he was with the Spurs, he's a young pup, but that seems like that was a long time ago. So we got to see if the hired gun can come back and shoot this team over the moon, or are we just going to see this team crash and burn under Paul George? Because right now, he has to continue playing at this superstar level, and we haven't seen him this way in a long time.
You know, it's funny. We were talking off camera when we discussed how LeBron James, how this has been an interesting playoff and a very insightful playoff to those players who were out there. without seeing King James
Yeah.
and the Lakers in the mix. But you also see where when you use that Laker LeBron James method of selling away all of your resources, giving up all your young people, going all in right now, if you don't make it and it goes left or it doesn't go the right way, it's a horrific thing. Like with the Lakers right now, you've got two main players and a cast of, them guys. That's all it is.
In this NBA now, it's championship or bust. It's not make the playoffs and we're happy. No, you make the playoffs now because why they've watered down the playoffs so much now that teams number 10 and 11 got a chance to get in. So it almost looks like the hockey players, the NHL playoffs. So everybody comes in. Little Sisters of the Poor, direct league skaters are going to get into NHL playoff. So when you water it down like that, does it make it fun on the back end to see teams really fight to get in? It does. But it's not that big of a deal now to make the NBA playoffs. Now, when you miss the playoffs, that's a huge deal because that means your team is just terrible. Yes. If you don't make the playoff now, you're just, you caca poo-poo. If you're not the top 10 in the Eastern or Western Conference where you even get a shot to make the playoff, your team is terrible. Did the Bulls make the playoffs this year?
Well, I'm just going to say it was.
Wow.
It was bad. And you know who else?
Wait for the gun. Wait a minute, don't do that to me. I'm waiting for the gunshot. I heard it low. Yeah. And then I'm like, that's a 40 cal. And then all of a sudden, you just left me hanging. You just let me hanging, at the range with the target all the way there and no hole in it.
Well, I'll give you a big bang.
Oh, wow.
All right. That's what's happening right now to Philadelphia season. Now, on the chat line, we talked about it. We were playing around, but no, for real, I don't understand what's going on in Philly. I mean, when you got Embiid putting up monster numbers, you got Seth Curry, not Steph, but Seth Curry putting in work.
Balling
out. And you were up. I mean, up, bro. It looked like you were going to cruise to a victory. And then all of a sudden, just piece by brick, piece by piece, Trae Young and the Trae Youngettes assassinated you. And Jay, I think it's over for Philly. I don't know.
Here's the problem.
It doesn't look good.
Here's the problem. Can Joel Embiid play 48 minutes? Because that's what's going to have to happen now. Because we saw the Sixers were up, I think 24 or 26 or something like that. Joel Embiid goes to the bench. His bench goes out on the floor. Next time Joel Embiid comes back out to the floor, they're only up by 11. I mean, it is one of these situations that Joel Embiid, unless he's on the floor, they don't have a chance to win. And we see a 76ers team that I think weren't really taking this Atlanta Hawks team, really saying, okay, they're that good. Trae Young, if you guys did not get the memo, I don't know if you did. Maybe you are, I'm not sure what operating system you're using that right now. I'm not sure if you're on your DOS prompt, still typing in backslash, colon, semicolon, whatever, however it's taking a minute for it to get to you. But Trae Young is the truth. Okay? Trae Young is that guy. And y'all better get it understood.
I have to give you your props, man, and I have to throw love back to you and throw the ball back in your court. You said when he was drafted, he was going to be the truth. I wasn't as sure he was going to be the truth. I knew he could play, but I didn't know Trae Young was going to be this Trae Young. I didn't know once he turns the corner on you, he has a floater that destroyed. He is like, I know this is going to sound like hyperbole. I know. He's like a shorter, faster version of Derrick Rose. Now, does he get the hops and explosion to the rim? No. But can he be stopped in the open court? No.
Yeah, no. I will give you faster, not quicker.
Yes. He's faster. He's not quick. He's not sudden quick, but he has something that Derrick didn't have. And that's that floater, that giant killer that he has, and the fact that he's almost automatic from 30 feet out. I mean, he's ridiculous.
What's scary about Trae Young is that he's a hybrid of Steph Curry. He's like, he's not Steph Curry. Yes, I don't want nobody throwing stuff at me when I'm going down the street now, because I know y'all go, hey, what's that? He ain't Steph Curry. No, he's not. But he has Steph Curry's range. And he also has that ability to get inside the paint and get the ball up to the rim. Curry has that ability. And I want to say Trae Young and Ja Morant are probably the best guards in the league in getting that ball up in space. Have you ever noticed how much space Trae Young has around him in the lane?
Right.
When he's going to push that floaty up, he's got 2 or 3 feet around him. We know Steph Curry can get the ball off with 6 inches of space. He don't need too much. He gets the ball up where you think it's going to get blocked. He's just too quick getting the ball up. But Trae Young knows how to use his body. He knows how, when people are leaning the wrong direction, how to move away from him. And he just gets the ball up effortlessly. And he's money on those short little drops. The mid-range game is back in the NBA. We hope that some of you guys out here who are playing, what's that league that they play out here all the time now with the young guys? They run up down the court. The league where you don't learn how to play any defense, the league where you don't learn how to pass the ball unless you're on the fast break. What's it called? What's that? What are those? Oh, what is it called now? Everybody's got to get sponsored. What is it? Y'all think y'all pros already, Lee?
Is it the EYBL? Is it any kind of junior varsity? Is it any kind of NCAA? Is it any kind of those players that come from the ACU? Is it any of those players who come from those junior athletics, the AAU programs? Any of those?
Stop shooting the 3 ball all the time. Okay? Stop it. All of y'all, and that's who I was trying to get all of y'all in here. Step inside. Do you see? I know we're going to talk about Chris Paul in a little bit.
Yes.
Do you see Chris Paul step inside and shoot the little 16, 17-footer? Money. Ja Morant, money. Trae Young, money. Stephen Curry, money. Steph Curry, money. And y'all want to sit out there outside on the 3-point arc and just let it fly. You and y'all 2 for 8.
Yeah.
2 for 8, and you 2 for 4 from the free throw line because you refuse to drive the ball to the basket. So now you come out of these
analytics may run Luka Doncic out of Dallas. That whole where he should be shooting, where you can be shooting. But let me say this, young people, learn to get that money ball in. And it doesn't have to be that 3 ball. And for those of you who are going to send hate mail, oh, Jesus, oh my God, Trae Young ain't no Derrick Rose. Look, man, I'm just saying, I haven't seen a young man make an impact on the playoffs like this since Derrick Rose. Not even Ja Morant has had this type of impact where he's been able to breeze through. Are you aware of what the Hawks have been doing in the playoffs? Like, dude, at one point, they had won 4 playoff games straight.
This
is
is
Trae Young and who?
Largest,
you don't even know who else is there.
Absolutely. And this is the 3rd largest comeback in NBA playoff history. This is no joke going on up there with Atlanta. This is definitely Trae Young. It's no joke. You all, man, y'all need to get it fixed. Get y'all some handles and start shooting the ball at 16 feet. 12 feet. That's what y'all need to start doing. And maybe you could work your way up and get yourself a cup of coffee and somewhere where they're actually giving you a sandwich and a $5 food bill for the day, because you guys are shooting yourself out of opportunities for advancing your careers in basketball because you're sitting out at the 3-point line going 1 for 8.
Oh, and as a reminder, young people, it's nice to have the hyperbole, but I'm going to say this, and you can send all the hate mail. You can send all the smoke to me. Look, man, this whole Ben Simmons love thing, this whole Oh, he's a 6'11" point guard mastermind. Look, bruh. Look.
No.
First of all, yesterday he was standing beside Bogey Bogdanovic, and I hate the word Bogey, but Bogdan Bogdanovic. And Bogdan Bogdanovic was taller than Ben Simmons.
Yes,
so
he
what
is.
does that tell me? That Ben Simmons is not 6'11", he's not 6'12", in the right point guard. Ben Simmons is probably flat-footed. He's probably like 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
Probably flat-footed. Maybe in shoes, he's about 6'9". So now you're telling me he's a 6'9". He's a power forward. They really is a small forward that can't shoot. To Jay's point, you can't shoot.
And how long is that going to last you in the league? I mean, you know, you're there because of your body, your strength, and everything else. Yeah, but we're talking about getting yourself into the stratosphere. And if you can't hit that outside jump shot when it's there, but you can't settle for it. And that's what I'm trying to tell these guys. You don't have to chuck up the 3 ball all day long. You can't step inside at that elbow and get the ball up. If Ben Simmons had an elbow game, he'd be dangerous. Dangerous. Where you just bounce across the lane, stop at the elbow, and come up. Dangerous. You know who else has an elbow game? The Slim Reaper. The Slim Reaper will get up there and kill you on the elbow, will kill you on the base. That baseline turnaround jumper will kill you right there. 12, 13 feet from the basket. That's what they make their living at. Make your living there. You know, but you know, if not, you sit at home with me and you know, we can text each other. And you can talk about how what I used to do in my AAU ball. You know, and that's another thing too. I know we got a boatload of stuff to carry on. All you guys playing AAU ball, man. Come on now. Come on. All right. Just because you get a spirit pack and you get some swag does not mean you all had to bag a couple of chips. You understand what I'm saying? That don't mean nothing. That means they're making money off of you in these tournaments. That's what that means. And they want you to rep their gear so the people who are watching this on YouTube and watching this on TV will go buy Nike, will go buy Adidas, because you guys are walking, dribbling billboards. That's what that means. All right? Get your game together so that you can get to college and get your schooling paid for if that's what you want to do. Because what's happening, a lot of times you see these guys play AAU ball, and then you'd be surprised how many of those guys don't actually get to college, because there's not that many D1 scholarships. There's not that many D2 scholarships for all the guys playing basketball. You'd be surprised how many of those guys do not get a chance to play ball at the next level.
Everyone has to do their job. Do your job.
So now we're looking at jobs being done. We're looking at the Slim Reaper himself, man. I mean, we're at that point right now. Anybody who would criticize Giannis, and I'm just going to say this because this is the conversation that's been going around. If you criticize Giannis for not defending KD and not being uber defender, and how can he be the MVP or most valuable defender and he can't defend KD, all I would ask you to do is you go out and try and defend Kevin Durant. That's what
absolutely.
you do. You go and take yourself on that court and try and stop him from doing whatever God knows what he's doing. Stop it. Stop it. The man is amazing. Give him his props. We keep throwing around this word GOAT a lot. But Giannis, baby, you're going to have to get your game up. You're going to have to get your game up. And if you want the series to keep moving forward and you want to move towards that championship, you're going to have to beat Kevin Durant.
I was reading an article earlier. They are already making the molds for Kevin Durant statues. Okay. Kevin Durant is that guy. He's that guy. And I said this the other night when we were on a podcast, and I want to reiterate this point. If you put Giannis on Kevin Durant will foul Giannis out in the middle of the third quarter. That's just true. Kevin Durant is a wily veteran who, for whatever reason now, is as quick as I have ever seen him. I don't know what they did. I don't know what type of bionics they hooked up into Kevin Durant. I'm not sure what they did to Kevin Durant. But every time he makes one of those quick movements, I cringe a little bit because I'm waiting for something to give away. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for him to re-injure himself or something. Because a man with an Achilles tear like that should not be cutting and moving as fast as he's moving. But he is. He is an unstoppable force in the league. Because not only can he take you off the dribble, but now you got 7-1 shooting a fadeaway, a turnaround fadeaway, a step back. And what are you going to, and he's deadly. And he's deadly from the line.
Man, could you imagine him still with the Dubs? Can you imagine him still out there at Golden State? Now, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The person who should be gone from the Warriors is Draymond Green.
Draymond should have been gone.
I don't care how much of a thug he is on that court, and he's good on TNT. I like him on TNT. He would have been packing.
Yeah, because if they could have figured out how to keep, and I think they would have kept him, they could have kept Steph and Clay and Durant there. So wait, that's a big three that's unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Because they can kill you from outside. You got three of the most elite shooters in the league that we've ever seen. Definitely two of the most elite shooters of all time. Of all time. Name me two better shooters in the league than Curry and Thompson. Definitely not two better at shooting backcourt. And now you put all three of those guys who can kill you from the perimeter. I don't care who you play in the middle at that point. Thing about it is just like anything like we found out with the Nets is keeping people healthy. But we know Kyrie is not that jump shot shooter. We know that Harden is a jump shot shooter, but we know Harden's great, but he's not. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Can you win it all with James Harden?
No.
Can you win it all with James Harden being your number one option?
No. He proved that in Houston. No. He's not your number one option. He's not even maybe your number two option. He's your third option, which made this whole thing with KD, Irving, and James Harden. It made it this trilateral commission of greatness.
So let's ask a question now, because this is just boss. If he's your third option, that means he's getting your third best defender on him. And is this why we see explosions out of James Harden? This is why sometimes we see explosions and then we see fizzle.
Yeah.
If we put an elite defender on James Harden, is he still going to be able to get off like he gets off on a regular basis? Because I'm going to say Kevin Durant, yes. I mean, you can body up and bang around Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant's going to figure out how to get his 25 points a game. You know, that you're going to give him 20. You're going to spot Kevin Durant 25 points. I don't care who defending Kevin Durant. He's getting 25 points. You know, now can James Harden do the same if you run these elite defenders out on him for a ball game who are going to body him up, beat him around? Is he that guy who can score against elite defenders all night long? I don't know. Maybe he's going against guys second and third options defender-wise, and he's able to take advantage of that.
I don't know how you kind of, with all three of them together healthy, I don't know how you defend that. But let's ask this question before we leave, Jay. The Nets are going to Milwaukee. Will Milwaukee be making the return trip to Brooklyn?
No, I think they're done. I think the Slim Reaper lopped off some heads, and I think all of a sudden, again, like I said a couple of shows ago, that they looked across over there and they said, wow, that's Kevin Durant. You know, it's something when you're these young guys and you're playing, against, especially, when you play 2K and you're playing, with the guys on the team and, when you're still in high school and the guys are playing in the league. But once you look up across over there and you see that that's Kevin Durant coming out on the court, there's something about that. I think Kevin Durant has that Tom Brady thing about him. I think he's legendary. And now Kevin Durant as a scorer is legendary. We know if the Slim Reaper's got to get a basket and he's not hurt, you could almost book it, Dano. You know what I'm saying? You could almost book it. So the question is now, can they get their eyes out of the stars of being starstruck because I think they gave their best effort against this hardened-less team, against this injured Kyrie Irving team. I don't think they let down. I just think Kevin Durant stepped his game up. And all of a sudden, they saw the Slim Reaper for 48 straight minutes, and they knew 49 points later that that's a bad man.
Yeah, I'm beginning to wonder how you're going to walk out of this situation clean when it comes to getting back to Brooklyn. And I don't think you get back to Brooklyn. Now, that poses another question. I really think now we're going to see Brooklyn, Atlanta. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But right now, I think we've seen the best. And it's a shame for Mike Budenholzer. It really is. I know he's going to catch a lot of flack. Putting Chris Middleton on KD was, to your point, Jay, to save Giannis from leaving the game. I mean, he fouled out anyway, but
but
you didn't want
fouled
him
out earlier.
Yeah, you didn't want him leaving in the fourth quarter, at the beginning of the fourth quarter. So
KD would have had him three fouls before the half. By the middle of the second quarter, we had him at 3 fouls. Because Giannis is one of these guys, he gets mad and he gets aggressive, which I love it, which he has football mentality. You know, he wants contact. He's figured out how to play the game, but he's going to overwhelm you with his physicalness because he's just super physical. I mean, he's a great specimen. But KD is KD. He's going to get you figured out. You know, he's going to break you down. I mean, the way they start getting the ball out of KD's hands, they start running these double teams. There'd be small guys getting up underneath him, and they were closing him up on the sidelines, and KD was making some passes, some everything. But I think some of that too was fatigue. You know, at some point in time, he had to, you know, he was conserving himself, and I think he just was. At some point in time, you ebb and flow in the game. So I think at some point in time, his energy levels weren't up, and he just wasn't competing, fighting for the basketball like he needed to. But when he came down to the stretch, KD, hard to stop. And I think he would take Giannis and that aggressiveness, and we would use that against him. And then if Giannis wasn't aggressive and he started backpedaling, KD's going to let it fly from over the top of him, and, you know, we'll see what happens.
Well, that's where we're going to leave it. We're going to leave it right there and say that I don't see the Bucks making a return trip. Now, they may surprise us, they may shock the world, but I don't see it right now. I think Bruce Bowen, they got some guys on that team. You got your Oklahoma City Thunder, the Oklahoma City Assassin. I don't know what you call Blake Griffin, the real Clipper man, the Lob Cityer. He's whatever you want to call him. You got Uncle Jeff Green there doing Jeff Green things, man. It looks
Still
bad,
balling.
man. And Spencer Dinwiddie might be back sooner than later. So,
yay.
Yo, bro, it doesn't look good. I don't fear the deer, and I don't think anybody else does. So we're going to put a wrap on it and say KD to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I'm going to go and get my KD shoes right now. That's what
I know. Them shoes are nasty, ain't they?
Yeah. I'm going to go pre-order my post-order.
I'm too old. You know what? I'm officially too old to wear any of that gear.
Yeah.
I can get away with a shirt. I can't. What I look like running around almost 60 years old with some KDs on?
At this point, man, it's getting bad. It's getting bad.
There's no way I can wear those. I gotta get the shoes with the Velcro over the top.
Okay. There. All right. All right. You know what it is. You know who it is. It's the Sizzle here on Iron Skillet Radio, Iron Skillet Television. Remember, you can find us at #IronSkilletSports. Look for us anywhere where you find your information, your podcast information, and we will see you on the other side.
Make sure that you follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Iron Skillet Sports. And remember to like, share, and subscribe to Iron Skillet Sports on YouTube at Iron Skillet Sports.